time to empower, educate, and encourage your women to motivate you through whatever you've been going through. We can talk about it. We ain't passing no judgment. So don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever your real life looks like. Stay in your lane. Come out the dark and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. Tune into your lane talk show. It makes us feel good just to know we're not alone. No more will we feel isolated and cast aside. I want you to come out the dark. Just don't be afraid of your heart. So don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever your real life looks like. Stay in your lane. Come out the dark and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. It's your lane talk show with Coach Trish Hannah.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to your Lane Talk Show. I am your host, Coach Trishana, broadcasting from Nassau, Bahamas, the place where God lives. Hey. All right. I have to say who to quote from because I can't just say it like that and just leave it like that because it comes with, because man, what these fighting words. I have my sisters in other countries who's trying to say, what you trying to tell me? God only live in the Bahamas. He don't just vacation here. He live here. And let me tell you who I get this from. This is from the legend, the great, the late Dr. Miles Monroe. Okay. So if don't come for me, well, you can't go to him. But those were his words, and I believe it. All right. So listen, I'm beyond blessed to be your host for today's show, your Lane Talk Show. This show is all about real conversations that educate, encourage, and empower women of all ages. Whether you're here to gain wisdom, find motivation, or simply be reminded that you're not alone in this journey, that's what this show is all about. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, even though this is a women's talk show, we welcome men all the time because let me tell you something, they be the main ones who come into me in the parking lot in the food store saying, Lord, I listened to your show just now. I make sure I used to be in the background saying, I hope you hear that, Sue. I hope you hear what she say, Sue. So they're the ones who actually more motivated than we are at times. And so in this particular show, I would encourage you to turn the volume up a little louder. And if you're in the car, turn it up a little louder than louder if you're at home. All right. So that they can be able to hear and understand what it is that they need to know pertaining to us as women. Last Sunday, we hosted two beautiful ladies. Chloe Farrington, she's a medical esthetician. She brought with her, of course, bought with her all kind of gifts. We did all kind of giveaways last week Sunday, and we're grateful for that. Thank you so much, Chloe. But she broke down the best skincare routine, treatments, and products for maintaining a youthful glow. So we learned about the type of what to do with our makeup brushes, how to wash our sponges properly, what type of products to use, how do we know what type of skin we have. It was phenomenal. And we also had with her Dr. Sharon Neely, aka Fabulous Ronnie. Hey, that's my girl. All right. And she took her time and she shared insights on hair loss, scalp health, and how to keep your hair thriving. Okay, we have a lot, and one of the things that she discussed primarily is the fact that we have a lot of women out there with alopecia. They suffer from alopecia, traction alopecia. She listed like 5 different types of alopecia, right? And she said that some of those things are reversible and some are not. And of course, you would want to know which ones are because you may be being discouraged because you may be thinking, okay, I had a bald spot for years. I don't think this can grow. Go to her. All right, let her look at you and go to get consulted by her, and then she will let you know the type of products to use. Both of them will let you know the type of products to use for your skin and for your hair. All right. Now you can look up Coach Trish Hannah on YouTube where you can find that particular episode. The episode is called Taking Care of My Skin and Hair Part 2. This is episode 126. You want to go. And when you are there, please like and subscribe. All right. So if you notice, I'm going really fast because I want to get this ball rolling. So today we are going to discuss a season of life. I was told it's full of surprises. Now I really hit it yet, right? But I have a lot of colleagues, my aunts, my mom, my neighbors who have approached this particular thing. And the mood swings, the hot flashes, and a sudden urge to change the AC to Arctic blast at 2 o'clock in the morning. I've heard the stories. And the poor husband there shivering with 5 different blankets on and socks. All right. A poor man. Listen, if you have a husband like that, or you are presently in that state, make sure he's tuning in today. All right. Because that's what we're talking about, marriage and menopause. The phrase where for better or worse includes night sweats, brain fog, and the occasional desire to throw a shoe at your spouse for chewing too loud because them hormones is be kicking. That's what I was told. Okay. Now, if menopause is any way like our menstruation, where we get our moods, then y'all out for a treat today. All right. Now, listen to my colleagues, the 80s babies. We next. All right. Yeah. We next. So we want to tune in. We want to get our paper. We can get our pen, and we want to write as much information as we possibly can, so we can know how to deal with these issues. And on a more serious note, because I wanted it to be a fun show, but I have to make this statement. It was brought to my attention. Okay, let me just say that it was brought to my attention that there are some research that was done. And it stated that 7 in 10 women, around 73% of those surveyed, blamed menopause for the failure of their relationship. Now, that's why I have a problem. Because we want to get to a point where, yes, we understand what this thing is. Yes, we understand that there are some methods that we can do to prevent these things from happening. But at the end of the day, we don't want to use our hormones, or we don't want to allow the enemy to use our hormones to try to cause discord and try to disconnect from our unions or our covenants, all right, between you, your husband, and God. All right. I have to get serious on that part, because that means a lot. Now, when I heard that, or when I read that out, that raised a red flag. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to bring the show, because the show could have been brought in so many different angles. But when it comes to marriage, y'all know that's my baby. That's my ministry. So we going down deep in that. All right. So the show, honestly, today, we want to focus on knowledge, because there are some people. I know the guest who I have, everybody know who she is. But it's okay. Everybody done been to at least one women's seminar where she actually hosted, or been to a seminar that she has had. Okay, but that's not the point. The point is we want to make sure that we cover all grounds, so she could hear the Lord tell her, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Okay, you can't say she's sitting on a gift, because she can share it. All right, that's what we about today. We're inviting, of course, the men to come ahead and listen. So, man, if you've ever been confused about why your wife is shivering 1 minute and sweating like she ran a marathon the next, this show is for you. All right. So I salute you. There are so many different ways to listen to our show today. You can go on to star 106.5 FM dial, channel 976 on cable. And you can also watch us live on Your Lane Life Coaching's Facebook page. And for those who are watching us via Facebook, please share the page. Please tag a friend, especially those who in our group age bracket. Yeah, us. Yeah, because we can need to know in advance what we should be doing. Okay. All right. Your Lane episode 127, Marriage and Menopause, Love, Laughter, and Hot Flashes, is brought to you by, and may I say proudly brought to you by, John Shoe Store and Accessories, Your Lane Life Coaching, Emmanuel Medical Center. Take charge of your health with Emmanuel Medical Center, from annual physicals to managing diabetes, hypertension, and more. They provide compassionate, comprehensive care for all ages. Call 393-9355 today. Emmanuel Medical Center, helping you achieve wellness. Also brought to you by Lysol Disinfectant. Sickness can spread fast, but with Lysol, you can go into protect mode. Nothing kills more viruses on more surfaces than Lysol Disinfectant Spray, distributed by Thompson Trading. Del Monte. Del Monte is all about quality with non GMO ingredients and BPA free packaging. Every can is packed with fresh, nutritious goodness. Perfect for quick snacks or hearty meals. Find Del Monte at your favorite store. Fresh taste, smart choices. Distributed by Thompson Trading. We're also brought to you by Airwick. Fill your home with the fresh, inviting scents of Airwick, from floral to fruity, warm to refreshing. There's a fragrance for every mood. With long lasting freshness, Airwick transforms any space into a welcoming retreat. Find yours today. Airwick, home is in the air, distributed by Thompson Trading. And lastly, Fabulous Ronnie Hair Restoration Clinic. Attention all men, women, and children dealing with dandruff, alopecia, or any hair or scalp abnormality. Fabulous Ronnie Hair Restoration Clinic is here for you. As the #1 trichologist in the Bahamas, Fabulous Ronnie specializes in restoring hair health with expert care. They offer personalized consultation in a private one-on-one setting, ensuring you get the attention and solutions you deserve. With 2 convenient locations, Bay Street and Faith Avenue, you'll experience amazing customer service no matter where you go. Plus, they're open every Sunday for your convenience. So don't wait. Take control of your hair health today. Give them a call, 39341-HAIR or 565-0228 to book your consultation with Fabulous Ronnie Hair Restoration Clinic. I'm excited because it's time for us to introduce our guest for today. Now, we have with us, well, first of all, I want to say that once again, we know that everyone know Patrice Lockhart. Who don't know Patrice Lockhart? But for the 1 or 2 who don't know her, let me just do a short little introduction about her. Patrice Lockhart is a pioneer in women's health, serving as the first certified menopause health practitioner in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. As founder of Menopause Survival Care, she leads a mission to ensure and empower women through education, support, and solutions for managing the often overlooked transition of menopause. With over 30 years of dedication to health and wellness, Patrice has championed the cause of bringing menopause education to the forefront. She is one of the few Black menopause coaches globally and is certified by Menopause Movement in the UK. But Patrice's passion is rooted in breaking the silence and dispelling the stigma surrounding menopause, which leaves many women feeling unprepared and isolated. Her work has laid the foundation for a new wave of menopause care across the Caribbean, bringing awareness and holistic solutions to this critical aspect of women's health. So we want to welcome our guest, Miss Patrice Lockhart. Welcome to Your Lane Talk Show, beautiful.
Thank you. It is so good to be here.
It is so good to have you.
Here.
Listen, it's been a long time coming, right?
Yes, God is good, huh?
God is good.
Mhm.
And listen, nothing before his time.
Yes.
But I couldn't think of a better time to get this particular show in because, well, first of all, this show celebrates women every day, every Sunday, you know, but particularly for this month, we know it as International Women's Month.
Yes.
So, of course, I wanted to ensure that we have something about perimenopause and menopause,
which is
on
a
board
stage
with us.
of the woman's life. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly. So now, you know, the statistics, man, the statistics about the fact that it has been noted that menopause has been the ultimate cause of maybe I would say
it's about
the premise.
60%. As I was sitting here, I was trying to, and I have to find that statistics. I used to use it in the early days. There's the statistics that point out that 60% of the divorce that happens are initiated by menopausal women. I think it's about 45 and I forgot the age range that they gave. But this is documented. Has been researched and surveyed, and it's 60% of the divorce initiated by menopausal women. And I often say we don't suffer from we don't suffer from our issues. We suffer from a lack of knowledge, from a lack of understanding, because so many times we go into the transition. The problem is we go into the transition and we are totally clueless as to what is to happen. 99% of the women in our country enter the menopausal transition clueless, unprepared, and untooled to deal with the symptoms and changes their bodies will go through. And these symptoms and changes happen on 3 levels: physically, emotionally, and mentally. Some women deal with it on 3 levels, some deal with 2 levels, or some deal with just 1 level, but it impacts the woman.
I have a serious problem with that, because it's like I don't want to go into anything without having some knowledge, some information, because
that's why we perish for lack of knowledge.
We perish because of lack of knowledge. I noticed that Beats put something on the screen a while ago. Beats, what is it? Do you want to talk?
This is from hellodivorce.com. It says a survey by the Family Law and Menopause Project on Newsom Health Education found that 73% of women attributed menopause to the breakdown of their marriage, with 67%
relationships
of them reporting an increase in domestic disputes during the period of the onset of menopause.
My God.
Yes. And listen, first of all, I want to back up, because I heard you say something. A lot of women don't even know when they enter that stage. As long as you hit 40 and 40 something, 8 to 10 years before you stop bleeding, your body goes into this transition. It doesn't ask your permission. It doesn't care whether you know or not. And what happens is you are on the last 8 to 10 years of eggs that you have left in your basket. And as long as you get to that stage, the hormone that kicked in during puberty to help you have a breast, to have arm and hair under your arm and pubic hair, and to cause you to have a baby, and etc., she begins to decline. And I want to say something about what you said earlier, because I try to make women understand the same hormones that take you into puberty, where we say, watch these kids and these hormones at that time and whatnot. And, the different things that happen to both girls and boys. Yes. But those same hormones that take girls into puberty is the same hormones that cause her to have a period every month. Yes. So when you hear a girl having PMS and miserable around a certain time, or etc., they're the same hormones. These same hormones cause us to have a baby. The estrogen and the progesterone. So it causes us to have the baby. So many times women deal with this afterwards, postpartum and depression. Same hormones. These same hormones then takes us into menopause. So a lot of times we're looking at the symptoms. Young girls are having certain things, or while you're having a baby, or you're going through these different
crying
issues.
All the time and,
Same hormones. Same hormones take you through. These hormones are designed to take you through the various stages. And the last stage that they help you through is that reproductive stage. And when you finish having those, using up all your eggs, and you go into the menopausal transition in the early 40s. Women don't usually know until we get in the mid 40s to late 40s. And it's like the baby, when you're having a baby, it's like the 7th, the 8th, the 9th. What do you call it? When it gets hot, when you're about to push out the baby. And so when you get a centimeter, 7 centimeters, that tells you how long it's been for me.
For me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the closer you get to pushing out that baby, the harder we say the pain is. And it's similar to menopause. The closer you get to ending or going into that menopause itself, That's when women start having the symptoms start showing themselves. And we go into the perimenopause stage from in the 40s.
So let's talk about that then.
Okay.
In the because your girl needs to know.
Because
I
it's happening and you don't even know.
I trying to see now.
It's causing you to have
because so let's talk about that. What are some of the symptoms that I can say the 80s babies, us?
Mhm.
What are some of the symptoms that we can look into?
Okay. When it first started, I'm going to talk about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize when my body went into this transition until I was studying menopause. And there was some session we were doing. And I remember my period happened every time, the same time. I had about 3 days. By the third day, I was finished. I was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in my early 40s, all of a sudden my period started moving from like the beginning of the month. It was just moving to the middle. And I was like, oh, that's strange. But that was the only thing that happened. I did not know my body made a shift.
Oh.
My body began to the 8 to 10 years before I stopped, before I was going to stop having my period.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
So there's sometimes for a lot of women, it's very subtle.
Mm-hmm.
We do have the hot flashes, the night sweats, and sometimes we have the things that even the joint pains. I tease women, all of a sudden, at some point, you used to jump up out of bed. Then all of a sudden, one morning you get up, your back or your knee, and you try to figure, well, Jesus, what's going on here?
You gotta sit in the bed for a little while before you
gotta
actually
catch
come
yourself.
out
You know,
and
like say you gotta catch yourself. Then we have women that even body odor begins to change because when for some women their testosterone levels go up, and I have a client that makes me laugh, and she made me laugh because I remembered me afterwards. I remember at one point in my 40s, all of a sudden, I started having arm set. I was irritated myself.
Yeah.
So I was washing out everything. I didn't even know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So the physical symptoms some women deal with, besides the hot flashes and the night sweats, women even have what's called tinnitus, the ringing in the air.
Mm-hmm.
That's because of menopause.
Mm-hmm.
Then
so this is the perimenopause first before that.
Okay. Perimenopause, like I says, 8 to 10 years before a woman goes actually into menopause, and that begins. She starts experiencing this in her 40s.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of perimenopause has a beginning, a
gradual,
middle, and an end.
Right.
And what tends to happen is symptoms tend to change during these times. Mm-hmm. Now, usually when a woman is going on to the middle to the latter part of perimenopause, that's when the symptoms get her attention, when they interrupt her life. Sometimes, again, you have the sweating,
brain fog,
I'm going to go into the mental and the emotional aspects of it. Women even deal with tender breasts. What women we've not been told is that menopause affects our vagina. 85% of postmenopausal women and menopausal women deal with how it affects the vagina. Vaginal dryness, itching, burning. Women all of a sudden, they could sit to their desk and they could hold their pee for when they're good and ready. Now, all of a sudden in life, listen, you got to break off.
When you got to go, you got to go.
And when many times as women, before they get to the toilet, they have a little accident.
Little leakage.
Leakage. Women, during this time, a lot of women, postmenopausal women, they're leaking urine or fecal. Women have postmenopausal, a lot of them deal with a lot of UTIs. I can't figure out why that's happening. And that's directly because the estradiol has declined, and it keeps our vagina, it keeps that pH balance that we need, that protects us against viruses and bacteria. And once you don't have that, once that is declined for you, you tend to be more susceptible to the viruses and all of the things that pH balance, just like our gut and our mouth has a pH balance to protect us and to keep the microbiome balance. It's the same way with a woman's vagina.
So, we have to keep on with certain things like probiotics and stuff. But we can talk about that later. We just on the surface right now.
Yes, because there's even with understanding how to take care, and I call it to be more gentle, our queendom ladies.
Oh.
It's our queendom. And I often tell women that the same way you take care of your face and your
Yes,
hands,
yes.
that skin under there, you have to take care of it.
Yes.
But that's a story for another day.
Yes.
But I know the men, I'm saying that because
Men need to
men
understand.
are affected and impacted,
Mhm.
because also a lot of women lose their libido.
We're gonna
They
talk about
they
that too.
they lose their drive
Mhm.
completely. And
Mhm.
I have to talk to many women. Look, no, it's not. But yes, you don't have the desire, but you want to maintain your marriage.
Yes.
You have to do what you need to do.
Mhm.
And I help women that for their libido to go up. There are things that I work with them with. And then when a woman goes into menopause is actually one day. It's actually, a woman doesn't go into menopause until she's had 12 full months of not bleeding. That's when you officially in menopause.
Okay.
That normally happens globally between 51 and 58 years old. I've been finding in our country, women tend to end between 51 and 54. We do have anomalies. I've met women 65 years old, still bleeding, in the late 60s, couple in Grand Bahama, and then one even from San Salvador, 70 and still bleeding.
Don't let that be my portion, Lord. Me and my husband like to have fun. Because
Listen,
all I'm seeing now is, what, I ain't got no period? Let's go.
That's what I thought. You know what? I remember, and like I shared with you, I used to be married. And I remember I used to think, when these kids grow up, I can't wait when I stop bleeding, because my husband and I going to swing from the chandelier. We don't have to worry about getting pregnant. I can wear my white pants. I don't have to worry about an accident or anything. And I kept on thinking afterwards, nobody told me what came with that.
Yes.
Nobody,
Yes. Listen. So how long does menopause typically last?
On the books, from the surveys and research that has been done, we enter in our 40s. And again, it's different for every woman. But when you talk about the symptoms, when we talk about around 45 to 65, because 65 is the age that's been shown where a lot of the symptoms, at this point, women don't deal with the symptoms anymore. They taper off. Now, let me just say a caveat, because you're shaking your head.
No. You're saying that right, but I have to apologize to someone I know, a relative of mine, who was blaming everything on menopause. I ain't gonna lie, because her children, her girls, and myself will just be teasing her because she buckets up with menopause. And we was like, poor menopause getting blamed for everything, but now I can understand.
A lot of women trip and fall. A lot of that happens during that time. And there's so many things. The reason why is because this hormone estradiol that kicked in during puberty to help us use up this basket of eggs. I call it basket of eggs that we came to this earth with. And every female, we came onto this earth with about 33 years worth of eggs. So she kicks in to help us use these eggs during this reproductive stage. Now, the thing about her is she's a queen bee. She's a powerhouse in the life of a woman. She helps the brain to function. She helps the queendom. She helps with your joints and muscles. Libido. Notice that, listen, let's go there, libido. Notice when this is one of the things that I found intriguing when I was doing my research, my studies with menopause. I always knew they told us around 50 women need to take calcium and for bone health and all. I never understood until one of my sessions. And I remember we were dealing with nutrition and nutrients and blah, blah, blah. And understanding that estradiol, scientists tell us that we have a new body every year. You know what estradiol does? She removes all bone and gives us new bone. So we have that process going on all our lives. But when she says bye-bye, that's why we have the issue with the bones and we're so fragile. Osteoporosis and osteopenia begins to be a thing. She has so much effects on your muscles, your joints. Estrogen acts like a painkiller. in a woman's body. That's why we could have a baby and go through so much. And I often tease women, we tease men and say men can't take any pain.
No.
But that's because you have the unfair advantage of having the estradiol in your body.
Thank you for
But
that.
come talk to me when you're going through menopause. All the joint ache, this pain, that pain you start feeling. And it's because you are going through the menopausal transition. And I liken it to a tank of gas that is diminishing. And so when that begins to diminish and she's gone,
That's it.
oh,
And,
you're
but
this
the only
pain,
difference is
that
you can't go
pain.
refill it, right?
Yes,
That's
we
the
can.
difference. Oh, we can?
I teach women.
Oh,
that.
we're gonna
Yes.
learn that then. We're gonna take a break real quick because all this the first part of this show is just so that men will have a better understanding and women, of course, will have a better understanding of our bodies because we're gonna get into relationships and marriage and how we can prevent these statistics. We don't want to be a statistic. All right. We don't want to be a statistic to say, okay, I got a divorce because my hormones was just jumping all over the place. I couldn't take it. The man sending me crazy. I had to let him go. All right. Are we pushing him out of our bed because we feel sexy tonight? We can talk about that right after this break.
Yeah.
All right. Can people hear you? I want people to hear you. You're so low.
It's nothing I can do about it.
Where your mic?
It's nothing I can do. It's not. It only takes two.
Okay, go ahead. Speak loud.
I came across a video earlier that visualized what it looks like when women get
The
a
brain.
hot flash, going with the steam coming off. Right
Yes.
I have it right here.
Yes, that has been viral.
This
Yeah.
right here.
Yes, with the steam. You didn't see that? Yeah.
No.
Oh,
So this is she's going through menopause.
she's having a hot flash, and you see the steam coming out of her head. Oh, I have many women.
Wow.
Yeah, many women. You know who shares a story? Michelle Malcolm.
Oh.
A lot of women. They're beauticians dealing with them. Officer, how come all this heat coming from you? You hear that all the
So
time.
this is a thing.
Oh, if it is.
Oh my goodness.
She's the first one that was been captured. Dr. Lisa Missoni is a neuroscientist, and she began she was the first one who began doing taking images of a woman's brain before menopause and then after. I show it in my sessions. Literally what our poor brain goes through. Menopause. See, I'm going to be saying this, but menopause is more than a reproductive transition. It's also a transition for a woman's brain. That's why we have the memory issue. That's why we have the focus and the concentration. Lord. That's why even the sleep, because the stem of the brain is impacted, etc.
I found this so fascinating because I always was under the impression that the hot flash was a psychological thing, something that my brain is telling me I'm hot, but my body temperature is not actually rising.
Yeah,
but now
it's opposite.
But it could also be something that started psychologically.
Let me tell you how. Physically. No, it's because there's a part of our brain called the hippocampus. First of all, estrogen is a hormone.
Right.
They're chemical messengers. They send messages throughout the body, giving messages, telling the body what to do, what can't. Very big powerhouse in the body. And when your brain, there's a part of the brain called the hypothalamus, responsible for temperature control. That gets an incorrect signal. And so your body thinks you're in crisis. So when the brain releases that signal, the blood vessels, it's like a ambulance coming through. It opens the blood vessels like this and blood rushes through. That's literally how a woman has a hot flash. And then sometimes they sweat with it.
It's like when you get a car and your car has a bad thermostat in it. You change the thermostat because the thermostat's telling your car, hey, your car cool. The whole time your car burning down. Change the thermostat.
I like that.
That's why it's good to have
that.
a little male in the show every once in a while. See why he's the bomb?
Yeah, and that's what happens to women. And we're on?
No, we're on a break. But we're on Facebook.
Okay.
So they were still able to hear us.
Oh, we used to say that on the air.
Yeah. But everything that's said is online.
So we're back in 3, 2.
Welcome back. For those who are just joining us, we have with us Patrice Lockhart. She is just telling us about what it is, the process of going through menopause, the symptoms, those with who, like myself, who are currently experiencing perimenopause. Lord have mercy. All right. And so,
Congratulations.
I am not really too proud about that. But anyway, life goes on. Praise the Lord. We are at a point where we are concerned because these particular symptoms are now affecting, not now, but it has been, but the fact that, it is affecting the marriage. All right. Not only just the marriage, the marital bed as well. So we're going to dive a little into that. Because I know you've shared with me some things offline pertaining to people who you've met who said, especially men in particular, who said, man, listen, menopause is awful. Menopause do me right in, right? So talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to discuss intimacy challenges.
First of all, and yeah, I love the fact that this is a marriage session we're dealing with, because menopause affects more than just women. It affects the workplace, it affects the family, and it affects marriages. Because what happens is there are a lot of physiological things that happen in the menopausal transition. And for a lot of women, when their hormones start to do these different things inside of their bodies, it causes what they know as a normal life to be changed. And it hits you off guard, because you're going about your life every day. You've been going for years. All of a sudden, these things start happening and you can't explain them. You start the memory and the focus and the concentration. It's an issue. You have fogs where you're sitting here. You're calling somebody's name all the time. All of a sudden, you cannot remember at all. You could be driving in extreme cases, and this has happened to me. I nearly caused 2 accidents, and that's why I had to really pump down on myself, because everybody's transition is different. It affects a part of my brain called the amygdala. The amygdala is that's emotion. The hippocampus, the focus and the memory, etc. I had an issue where I was driving and all of a sudden I forgot where I was. A road here in Nassau, I drive all the time. And when I'm talking about this on air, wow, it's my second time talking about it, because I couldn't talk about it. I literally went around the wrong side of the roundabout. And I remember hearing the people blowing. And I didn't know. And it wasn't until, thank God, the people coming around the roundabout were not speeding. I went around the wrong side. And so I literally had the embarrassing moment of having to reverse around the roundabout. I tell you, later I pulled over and cried, because it made me understand what Alzheimer's and dementia can be like. Because when your brain starts doing things like that, that's another level. When you're used to being in control. And as a menopause health practitioner, I then had to do the things I've been teaching my clients to do. Who have those issues, but that's real. It can affect you on that level. So the brain so sometimes men see women becoming very erratic in their emotions. One minute they fine, the next minute it's like one gentleman was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. And even on one gentleman said he just go in the what do you call it? He go in the sofa, but that's not the time to go in the sofa, because too much is going on. And this is the time you learn. For men, they need to understand and get education about menopause. Because when a woman's, there's a part of her brain, the amygdala, that's our emotional center. That emotional center of our brain has been supported by this estrogen from puberty until then, so until this point. And you want a full tank of gas, so you will pump it. So when this tank of gas started to go to 3/4 to half to a quarter and then to nil, that part of your brain that's been used to that fuel is like, where is my support? Where is my estradiol? Where's my estradiol? And so when that part of your brain, the memory center, isn't getting the support it's needed. Women have the emotional swings. 1 minute you're here, the next minute she's there, next and she's in the middle. Some women become aggressive. Good Christian, godly women who never think an aggressive thought are aggressive. And women, I don't understand. I've never, ever been like this. One gentleman had to leave his home. His good Christian wife became aggressive, and it was with her niece. They were able to figure out and get help for her. Then we have women who don't cry. Oh, this is so funny for me. Women, the tough women who haven't cried from childhood, trying to feel, why am I crying? What am I always crying for? But the emotional center of our brain is affected for many women. And I want to say every woman's cocktail of symptoms are different.
Yes. I've noticed because I have someone who says, well, I never had hot flashes, but I have my hormones is going up and down. Someone else said, I never had brain fog. I never, so it's different things for different people.
Yes.
What I wanted to know is, what are some common misunderstandings that men may have about menopause? And of course, its effect on intimacy, because we want to get there. And I know it has harm. Everything connects. Because when it comes to the fact that, okay, the man is not getting what he needs in the bed, whatever have you, right? It causes concern, and the Bible says this. When you deprive yourself from from each other, it gives the enemy an open door to go and do else. So we all know ... We all know what the elsewhere may end up being, and so, and then for the woman, when she doesn't feel connected to her spouse in any way, she feels rejected, and so that could be another reason. Right? It's a spiral.
It's a spiral.
Right.
First of all, it begins when she gets into this phase and stage and doesn't know what's going on. All of a sudden, some women don't want their husbands to touch them. All of that sort of stuff. And let me just say, for women, I want to say there is help. Give me a call. And husbands, because husbands have given me a call and made sure their wife came to sessions, because it's important for the connection. Remind me of your question again. So
what are some common misunderstandings that men would have with intimacy with menopause?
One, women go through a lot during that time because their body, she starts putting on weight around her stomach area, etc. So a lot of women are uncomfortable with their bodies, and when they start that, their husband might think it has something to do with them. But a lot of women are going through a lot of emotional stuff going on. So it's not you per se. A lot of times is what's going on in a woman's head, because a lot of women are confused at this time. Then another thing that's a myth is that she is picking a fight or trying to be difficult. And that's where education comes in. Because if a man understands, okay, this ain't personal, she got her own issues going on, how can I support her? Because and I teach men that, I teach marriage ministries what they need to be doing, because there are things that men can do, because the men are the first one to recognize, oh, this ain't normal what she's going through. And even when she doesn't recognize it, there are things that he can be doing to help her hormones balance. And I teach
so
them.
I can cut you off. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about some things. Let's help the men out today.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of questions, but I somehow I'm heavy towards making sure the men are straight.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, because when I have my sessions, I've seen men come to my sessions and their wife had to work. They were there with pen and paper.
That's too bad. The wife could stay. I come in to hear what's going on.
First
so let's
of all,
help them.
Men need to become educated. I am willing, and for your audience, if there needs to be a session for marriages, I will do a group session for marriages, because men need to understand what's going on with their women, because they have the key actually to help women when the women themselves don't know how to help themselves. Right. So education. 2, nutrition plays a big part. We trigger a lot of our menopausal symptoms by the foods we're eating, etc. There's lots of research that shows that compares the Eastern world women to the Western world women. And like there's a research that shows that for hot flashes.
Mhm.
In the Western world, 75% of women are 50, around 50, experience hot flashes. When you look at China, only about 10% of the women. Then Japan and Singapore is like 17 and 22. I get mixed up which what the
Right.
numbers are. And it's because these women, a lot of these women don't even know about hot flashes.
Mhm.
And our food, it shows it, our diet, what we put
Is
in
a
our
factor.
diet,
That's something.
um, a lot of the hormones in our food, genetically modified foods, endocrine disruptors, all of that stuff, we are doing it. So I teach men, even when they come in the one-on-one sessions with their wife, what kind of nutrition. When she starts, you see something happen, that means her tank, especially she's in postmenopause, her estradiol tank is empty.
So what can
What
we
we
tell
need to
them
do.
to? Right.
So nutrition. So when we talk about, there's what's called phytoestrogen,
Yeah.
plant estrogen. Um, and you're talking about flax seeds, you're talking about kale and spinach.
There you go.
I have what's called a menopause green.
Mhm.
And literally, I teach women how to fill up their tank back with plant, what's called
Foundation.
phytoestrogen. It
Mhm.
mimics our estrogen in our body, and you will normalize. But I'm not just talking about just going drinking a green smoothie and say, okay, let me wait. No,
Because that's what I thought.
no,
No?
no. It is about filling it, because I like to say that because we like to go and then let's try it once, and no, it's like a tank.
Yeah.
You can't put a little bit of what it needs and say I'm there. No, you got to
Be
fill it
consistent.
up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we're talking breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Mhm.
snacks, making sure you're putting it in your body, filling that tank back up again with what it needs. And
So this is something they could do, like you said, the kale green smoothie and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But the point is, because this is what I thought. Okay, so all you have to do is just make some green smoothies and just be consistent with it. So no,
no, it's more than that. It's a little
Jesus.
more. That's a that's a part of it.
man, and I should be fine. Let's go.
And then
Uh-huh.
even with lifestyle, with because what happens with our brain, a lot of women when they are going through the menopause and they experience the low moods, etc. Exercise helps.
Yeah.
Because and not every exercise, because we need to be doing strength training specifically. There are exercises for us as menopausal women, because stress and menopause are not a good marriage, and
Mhm.
you could cause physical stress and cause your body to release cortisol, which is not a good thing. It will make life worse for you.
Mhm.
But when you exercise, it helps the brain to release these another set of hormones,
Mhm.
serotonin and dopamine,
Mhm.
that help a woman. And even for men, when they exercise or work out, and I have some women whose testosterone levels are low, I make them hit the gym, and when they hit the gym, naturally your body's going to start releasing and
Mhm.
producing these hormones. So again, every woman's cocktail of symptoms are different, and what I do in my sessions, my one-on-one, is I create personalized protocols for women, because you could have 10 symptoms that I have, but you have another 3 that's different from 5 I have
Mhm.
over here. And so it helps me to understand. So that's something that men can do. But first, it's the education.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's not just, I do just one thing and it goes away. No, menopause is a transition your body will go through for years.
So let me pause real quick to ask. When it comes to us now, when we actually having menstruation cycles, right? We know about PMS and stuff, so we know something is going to kick in with us, like probably a week or two prior to.
Mhm.
We get the backache. Sometimes we feel, like extra hormonal with crying over
Yes.
little things or whatever have
Mhm.
you, extra emotional sometimes, you
Same
just want to be
hormones.
too attached. But it goes away, like it'll
Mhm.
be there for like
Because
that
it
1 or 2 weeks,
balances.
and then you have your menstruation, and then it goes away. But with menopause, is this a constant everyday thing? It got to be a time
Because
when give the woman a break,
because
man.
because the estrogen, okay, there's 3 primary hormones.
Mhm.
There are others, but the estrogen hormone that makes us a woman, the progesterone hormone that begs you every time that egg go, get pregnant, get pregnant, get pregnant, give me
Mhm.
something to
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
And then the testosterone hormone works with our estrogen hormone for our sex drive.
Mhm.
And so when there's an imbalance, when they start doing their loopity doo, we could move from one extreme to the next in different areas, because these different hormones have different functions. Like the adrenal glands releases cortisol and adrenaline, our fight or flight hormone. But I teach women that if you're under stress, and whether it's physical stress, emotional stress, or environmental, your body can't tell the difference. Your adrenal glands will release the cortisol to try and help you. And again, whether you're on the road and the light is a thinking about turning green, and someone start honking you down and you start around them, the light ain't turned yet. Listen here, and you fussing, you releasing cortisol.
Well, child has released all kind of cortisol every day, all day on these Nassau streets. So
and you're balanced, right? You're good right now.
I hope.
Yeah, you're good. You're good right now. But as we get, the body changes.
Yes.
So the body responds differently later on down. Now you're fine. You good.
Child.
But as you get older, you want to control that.
Yes, and but I don't really do that anymore. I used to have road rage. I don't anymore. So
praise God.
Praise the Lord. Deliverance.
Amen.
So how can couples then openly discuss the challenges pertaining to menopause? Because this is something that you don't want the man to just figure it out.
Yes.
Especially if the woman is knowledgeable about it or reads up on it or goes to classes. So how can they come together?
How can they come together? First of all, one, no jokes, no menopausal jokes. That we do that, but we don't understand how it drives a woman. If you see your wife going through something, and especially she knows, is there anything I could do? I notice, what I notice? I notice every time you do this, or you do this. Do you recognize that? Perhaps I could do this, or I could do that. When you open it up, where you're not causing a woman to defend herself.
The affirmations are good and praises are good first. And then you can say, I wonder if, or perhaps you can.
Yes.
Right.
Or he himself. Again, my doors are open. And one of the things I do want to do is to do more sessions with men. So again, I throw it out to your audience. I can do group sessions for marriages. That's very possible. But again, no jokes. You see something, you point it out. Again, just like you said, but we flower it first, because listen, she's hormonal. She hormonal. And you have to really have thick shoulders, broad shoulders. No, and broad shoulders, because listen here, there's no guarantee.
Yeah. You going into a bee's nest, a bee's hive.
There's no guarantee where that immaculate level gonna be at that point. But you understand, it's not personal.
No.
And when you're able to say, okay, baby, I noticed this. Maybe we should, you know what? I want to do this for you.
Yeah.
I want to do that for you. Because in recognizing when her hormones are low, that her hormonal level is low, there are things you can do. And again, but education is so important, so that you could know, because every woman's symptom is different. That's one. When it comes to intimacy, a lot of women are withdrawn because it's difficult. It's painful during this time.
So let's talk about, you're about to say that. So what are some of the symptoms during that for us? As far as
the vaginal dryness, the itching and the burning, the loss of libido. That is so real for some women, and it causes women the difficulty. And they're trying, but it ends up turning them off because it becomes painful. Women say it's painful. I have an oil. It's called Graceful Garden that women use. And what I teach them is that what it does is that, first of all, when we go into menopause and our the estradiol we don't have what we had before, the vagina, the skin of our queendom, let me just say, becomes very thin and weakened. So it's so important to take care of our queendom. All of these pads that we're using that has dyes or scents or bleach. Listen here, our baby girl can handle all that stuff. These panties that we have that are synthetic,
Mhm.
baby girl down there needs cotton. She needs to
Yes.
breathe. She's having a hard time. Okay. And this is truth.
Because it done rough out there. Okay. So at least try
It
to
is,
do some
yeah.
things to help.
And so when women use the graceful garden, what it does is that it helps the skin down there to begin to heal.
Mhm.
Because again, it's just like you have a dry skin on your face or your hand. What you're gonna take care of, you're gonna
Yeah.
put moisturizer.
Moisturize. Mhm.
Okay, but you want natural stuff. And the graceful garden is that it's natural. So it helps women to heal down there. It makes it easier. Many women say intimacy is so much easier
Mhm.
using graceful garden
So
because that's a
so what
reality.
other products? I understand that you have that, but if someone was to just say, okay, well, I need to go somewhere or
Okay.
something natural, maybe in there.
Yeah, graceful
Homes.
graceful garden is natural, and I derived that because of what was going on and all the artificial stuff women are putting down
Yeah.
there, etc. It's like, listen, I know there's a lot of chemical stuff out there,
Mhm.
but down there, that's why I derived it. It's organic and natural because we need something natural.
Right.
And even if a woman's not married, women deal with the itching,
Yeah. Trying to
the
still.
vaginal itching and the
Mhm.
dryness that could send a woman crazy.
Mhm.
You need something natural. By using a lot of the synthetic stuff, it ends up causing more problems for women.
Mhm.
Down there, again, the pH balance is not what it used to
Mhm.
be.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of changes. And I tell women in marriages, what also is very necessary, if you're having a postmenopausal women mostly, if you're having a lot of UTIs, you need to clean before you are intimate, and then afterwards you clean because it's easy for bacteria to
Mhm.
make its way. And
Mhm.
I had a couple accusing the other, etc. And that's real. I can tell you that stuff
Mhm.
is real. Um, and a man at this point, if you know your wife is going through this, make sure you get what she needs. I do the graceful garden, but if it's not me, find and something natural,
Right.
even like a coconut oil. Coconut oil is safe.
Mhm.
You can use coconut oil down there to heal the skin, to help you with lubrication.
Mhm. Natural 100%.
Natural, organic, of course. Yes,
Organic.
clean.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't have to worry about repercussions later on,
Mhm.
etc. Um, Also, with the prolapse, a lot of women deal with this prolapse where they feel the heaviness down here,
Mhm.
and they don't even know what it is until. And I always share the story. A woman called me one day. She had to bathe her mom
Mhm.
because her mom now needed her care, and her mom had a stage 4 prolapse where something was hanging, the floor, something was hanging out. I'm trying to be very
Yeah. Yeah.
graceful.
I understand.
And she didn't know what to do. She was shocked. Her mom, at this point, it was a stage 4 prolapse. She didn't deal with it. She didn't share it with anybody. So now, daughter's called me shocked at
Mhm.
what she's seeing and, needing to handle, this stage of dealing with it. But I shared with her that her mom had to go to 3 other stages before
For
that
getting
even
there.
got there.
Mhm.
And a lot of women have this heaviness down in the under the stomach area and don't realize it. And you need to go and get that checked out. Go
Mhm.
to your gynecologist if you're feeling this heaviness and this pressing. Um, you'll find out, for some of you, if that's what you're dealing with, you'll find out you may be in one early stage of prolapse, and you could get help with that, with strengthening your pelvic floor, etc. So that's something also, because that also causes women to kind of want to stay off from their husbands.
Mhm.
And I'm saying this so the husbands can hear this too,
Yeah. To be
because
aware.
they can recognize certain things in their wives that naturally happens. And sometimes, again, she's not even able to articulate clearly this strange new set of stuff that's happening with her
Right.
body.
Right. So what advice then would you give to couples who feel like menopause is taking a toll on their relationship? So it may be, okay, we understood initially what menopause is, where it came from, well, not where it came from, but the fact that the time frame that it entails, right? We spoke about, the various symptoms that it may have, brain fog and the flashes and the low libido, and other little factors of that,
Dry, itchy skin, all
drying
that.
and all this other stuff. Before I even ask that question, I know one of the symptoms is depression. I see some people go through that, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to know, like, how can you tell the difference between someone who's going through depression based on menopause versus actual depression? Is there a difference?
Let me start with the research.
Mm-hmm.
There's a research that was done in the UK. 60% of menopausal women deal with depression and anxiety. It is said that it has been the most underestimated symptom of menopause. And that's, again, there's a part of the brain that deals the amygdala that is not getting the support. So, yes, when you see women go being depressed, dealing with anxiety, it's because that part of our brain is not getting the support. And research now, like I said, Dr. Lisa Mosconi, thank God for this neuroscientist. She's been actually doing the research, pictures and whatnot. And so we now get, and they're saying now they see that women weren't going crazy, weren't talking foolishness.
Yeah.
Literally, our brain goes through a transition. Now, research is showing that we go around, there's a point around 65 or so, our brain goes back to normal. That's a thank God moment. But I teach women that how you take care of your brain during this transition is very important because depending on the symptoms, the brain symptoms you have or the neurological symptoms that you have, research is showing a lot of these women end up with Alzheimer's and dementia later on. So brain health is important.
So how can we take care of our brain health?
Okay. One, ashwagandha. I use ashwagandha with my clients. Two, omega-3. Three, I tell women, learn new stuff. You need to create new neural pathways in the brain. Our brain is built for repetition. That's why the subconscious, we remember things, etc. So we got to learn new stuff. Go out, learn new stuff. Make the brain work. It's like going to the gym and exercising. You've got to do that for your brain. So those are some of the things that you can do.
I love that. We're going to take a break then, beats. But for those who are listening via cable and radio, come on to Facebook, because some of the questions that I may not be able to get for the radio, I'm going to ask on Facebook. All right. So Your Lane Life Coaching is where you can watch, or Star 106 FM's Facebook page. We'll take a break. All right, so we learned about all of that, which is awesome. And I think you're doing an excellent job, because Charlotte learning everything today, right? I also wanted to know, okay, what are some things that can be done as far as ensuring that a woman who's in a relationship, because you have some women who may not be married as yet, but they're still in a relationship, engaged to be married, etc., etc. Even though it may be in their prime ages, it doesn't matter, right? The late stages, rather, it doesn't matter. You still want to be able to put whatever hormones that you have, in a place where it doesn't control you.
Okay.
So go ahead.
One, the first thing is education. I can't stress that enough. And I stress that because of what I see and what I learned when I was doing my own studies. I remember I came across a study that talked about the English-speaking women in the Caribbean and how there's no education for these women, and the stuff that's going on with their bodies, they don't even recognize it or know that it's menopause. And the research ended up saying that there's such a need for education in the English-speaking Caribbean nations because of research. So I say that we first need to understand our bodies. There's no pill you can throw at it. I think we are very irresponsible with our bodies, because we live in these bodies and we don't know anything about these bodies sometimes. First of all, education. You got to understand what's going on in your body. Your body going through a transition. The more you know, the more you can help your body through, because physics. So if you understand the physical symptoms, mental symptoms, emotional symptoms, then you can prepare for, because there are things that can be done for each set of symptoms to help you through. And I'm not even talking about those women in the 30s, that there are things that they can do before going into menopause. Okay. So there are things our hands are not tied when it comes to helping ourselves with the menopause symptoms.
Welcome back. Listen, we having a blast here with Patrice Lockhart. We having a blast, all right? She's talking to us. In fact, we're wrapping up now, where she's discussing, some of the things that we can do as women to help control these things, because we ain't want to send a man crazy, man. We ain't want to send. I for those who follow me on Facebook, I always use this term. That's not how you keep your man, okay? And so definitely, you do not want to be rowdy. You don't want to be pushy towards them.
Miserable.
You don't want to be miserable. You don't want to hold off on intimacy with them. All right. So definitely, this is what she's here for, to educate us, and it is needed, because we need to understand, as she has reiterated time and time again, knowledge is key. All right. It's through knowledge that the just be delivered. It is through knowledge that we're able to have a better understanding about how to deal with things, which is why the show was chosen today. All right. So we understand that, well, we should know that the men who are tuning in would say, okay, yeah, I already know now. They ain't really my wife. It's just the hormones that she's going through. Let me just step back a little bit, give her a little grace. Let me give her chocolate if she needs it. I don't know.
70% only dark, no sugar.
See, there you go.
No, because there are certain things that triggers up.
Ooh.
See, and that's why I said education is important. 95% of our symptoms are actually triggered by our lifestyle.
Yeah. Okay.
And the more we get into it, because when I do my one-on-ones, when I get into their food and their lifestyle, I ask my clients, okay, give me an idea of what you eat. Let's say from the minute you get up one morning to the last thing you eat at night. Just give it to me. And so I write and I document. And then you can see triggers, you can see things that they're doing that is actually causing the symptoms, or helping to stimulate symptoms.
Okay, so get your dark chocolate for her. Okay,
70%. She's gonna tell you that that's not sweet, but that helps us also. It's good.
So, if you were to wrap up everything that you said today, where you're helping couples now, you're helping them. We spoke about the intimacy. We spoke about clearly just now the diet, knowing the type of greens and stuff. We spoke about just having to understand that even when it comes to intimacy, hey, make sure she's properly lubricated, etc.
Yeah. Even take her for exercise. Make sure, don't tell her she needs to exercise.
Y'all exercise
Go
together.
do some strength training together. Be smart. When you have her doing strength training and she don't have any libido, listen, her brain she's gonna start producing testosterone in the body. Testosterone works with the estrogen for her sex drive. You helping yourself.
But you got that? I hope y'all get that. That's free information. So we close in, man, for true this time. But I wanted to know, Dr. Patrice, call you doctor.
It happens all the time.
Listen, is it possible then for a woman to mentally want to do something with her spouse, right? Mentally, physically wanting to be sexually intimate, but then her vagina is saying something completely different, like how with men, like, if it ain't up, ain't nothing happening. Is that the same during this time?
She can help herself, because if she wants to, again, once you have the tools in place, again, like I said, the recapture, or even coconut oil, when you're helping down there, see, because the skin is thin and weak, and so the emotional part is there. You just need to do what needs to happen for the physical aspect of you. So you take care of that area, you lubricate it, you nourish it. Listen here, you and your husband will be swinging from the chandelier.
Listen, and let me just say this too, for men who are tuning in, you can't just come out the blue and just try and feel as if you can get something out of her, especially if she's perimenopausal or menopausal or postmenopausal. All right, let's go through the fact that you want to be romantic. All right, you got to work. Patrice, you got to work. You got to work it. All right, you be romantic. The foreplay starts from the moment you wake up that morning. All right, straight into the bed to make it easier for her. Find out what her love language is, because some women, they may not desire the gifts. She may not want the chocolate.
Mhm.
She may just want you to be present. She wants
Right.
just the physical touch. She may just want the
Yeah.
affirmation. So whatever it is
Mhm.
that it would require for her to help, whatever way you can help her, men, go
Mhm.
ahead and make it happen. A gentle answer, turn it
That's
away
right.
wrath. That's what the Bible
That's
says.
right.
So you can't
Yes.
come to her, right? You can't come to her. You listening? Because he married too. You can't come to her rowdy or accusing her for something,
Mhm.
or pushing her buttons and then expect her not to
Mhm.
retaliate. All right. So even if she acts up with you,
Mhm.
speak to her
It's not
gently.
personal. So just say these. It's not personal.
Speak
It's
to
not
her
personal.
gently. Just say, yes, honey, I understand.
Yeah. And
My
that's what
husband does
women
that to
need.
me.
Just a
He
hug. Yes. Yes.
my husband literally does that even in my PMS modes. Like I may just be like, off, and yes, there. Yes, that works, Patrice.
Yeah,
Yes,
it,
that
it
works.
jolts you right back into reality, huh?
And
Yeah.
so go ahead.
Yeah. I was agreeing with what you said because sometimes I tell man, just go and give her a hug and hold her.
Sometimes it's just
Because
a hug.
sometimes it's the menopausal transition is so different.
Yeah.
You don't expect it, you don't know about it, there's no book you've read about
Yeah.
it. So just taking her for a moment and holding her, letting her know I'm here for you. Listen, what do you need? I understand it's a difficult, and acknowledging that you recognize that she's going
Yes.
through, but we doing this together.
Yes.
We
that's
doing this together.
Yes.
We said for better or for worse at menopause. And actually the menopause transition, we look at it as a negative thing, but it isn't. It's a new chapter. It's a new chapter. Just how a woman came into this world as a little baby, she moves into being a toddler and the different stages into adolescence, the reproduction. Then the next chapter is she's finished. And women need to give themselves more grace when it comes to this. But it's also when the man understand this,
that part.
when you understand this and you're able to talk to your wife about what's going on as well, you help her through her transition. So again, it may sound repetitious when I say education. I promise you, when scripture say my people perish for lack of knowledge, I promise you that real.
Yeah.
That real. And even one of the things I want to say needs to now happen is that it needs to be in our marriage preparation classes,
That
menopause sessions, because it's what is to be expected. Now every woman might not have a severe issue with it, but it helps you, the man, to understand, and even with the marriage session, dealing with andropause, because men go through their own session, their own issues, but it's a bit different. Their decline,
same thing, right?
Their decline is so much more gradual than us. Ours just erratic and crazy
Right.
with our hormones, but men go through andropause, and research shows that only about 30% of them actually go through it, where it impacts them and their life. That's when they find it said they find a younger girl, or they wear the shorts or go on the bike and never. That's real. That's also hormone. A lot of them you find end up with breasts and stomach, hair on their ears. That's an indication their body is actually going through. Actually, that's when their hormone, the estrogen in their body, is too high, and the testosterone has gone too low. But that's another story for another time.
Child,
but
listen,
it's real.
And the thing about it is, for men, I mean, I guess it won't be, hopefully it wouldn't be too much of a shock for you, because the same way that you can deal with her when she's going through PMS, it's the same way that I'm hoping that it'll be the same
She
way,
does.
right?
I talk to
during
women
those
too about
times.
that. Yes.
So, Patrice, thank you so much for being a part of the show. You have enlightened us
pleasure.
tremendously. All the information that I did not know. Obviously, some of these, sorry, not say all, some of these I did not know, and I'm grateful for that. Because, like I said, the 80s babies out here, it's almost our turn. Hey, all right, hey, and so can you share with us then your social media platforms, your contacts, if you're able to send that out as well? Because we've heard, like you said, you do classes, you do sessions. You can do group coaching for these
Yes, I'm
particular
passionate
things.
about that.
We could see that. We could see the
Yeah.
passion in you. So let's find out how we can reach out to you so that we can get more information.
Okay, I can be reached on social media, um, Menopause Survival Care. I have a private Facebook community. I also have a Facebook group. I'm launching my YouTube channel. You're gonna see more about that. Navigating Menopause with Patrice Lockhart. Then also, you can reach me by phone 439-3242. I do presentations, seminars, workshops, etc.
Repeat the number for us.
Oh, 439
Mm-hmm.
3242. And I just want to say, I'm also doing a 100 woman hot flash challenge across the country.
Come on.
So I'm calling all women across this nation who's dealing with hot flashes. If you want to get rid of them, join the 100 Woman 30-Day Hot Flash Challenge.
Okay, and so where can they find more information on that?
Give me a call, 439-3242. On my Facebook page, personally, it's Patrice Lockhart, Menopause Survival Care, Facebook as well. And you'll see a lot more going around about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure having Patrice Lockhart with us. And I just love her energy. I just love her excitement, her passion exudes, for ensuring that people are knowledgeable about this thing. And what I love about her is the fact that, she's passionate about marriages, and sustaining it. And the things that she has heard throughout her years.
And I have to talk to, it's like, no, you can't do that.
All right. So you want to give her a call, give her a shout, go on the platforms, get more information from her. Do you have any books?
Coming out.
So
Coming out. I have a 90-day symptom menopause symptom tracker and journal, and I have what's called Menopause Symptom Bible. And it has 60 symptoms: why, what, when, why, how. And it's what every woman needs to have throughout the transition, so that wherever you are in your transition, you can refer to it to understand, oh, that's why. And then it gives hope to what you can do.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for being a part of Your Lane Talk Show. Yay! We got
My
it on.
pleasure.
All right. And we definitely are not going to be a last. I know that, because we still have a lot of
Thank
things to
you.
cover.
Yes.
Right. So I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. Until next time.
Thank you. God bless
God
you.
bless
Keep
you.
up the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so we are now transitioning. We're going to have with us Deschanel Swan. She is the founder of Check Your Pulse 2025 Women's Conference. I can't wait to hear. Well, I know what this is about. I'm a little biased, all right? But I just want y'all to know what it's about. What's up, Day? Hey.
How are you?
I'm
Everything's
good. You look beautiful. This orange is
Thank
slamming
you.
on you, girl.
Ciao.
So talk to us about this event. When is it? Where is it going to be held, etc.?
Okay, so Check Your Pulse is going to be at UB on the 29th of March, which feels so very close right now. We're in crunch time. So it's going to be from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m.
10 and 2 at UB on the March 29th. Okay.
Yes.
What can attendants expect to experience and take away from this event?
So we have a group of wonderful speakers, yourself included. Thank you so much for
Hey.
being a part of this event. And we're truly, the theme is the mindset of the entrepreneur, but we're digging deeper into it than the things that people would usually cover. And we're talking about fitness. We're talking about mental wellness, general wellness.
Can you remember? You have your flyer, but you remember the guests? Because it looked like you trying to beat around the bush. I don't know who can be there. We know I can be there, but I don't know who else can be there. All right.
Okay, so with fitness, we're going to have JD Stewart. We will have Marion Dean.
Flyer there.
There you go, Marion Dean, with talking about styling and fashion, and she's going to go into a little bit more than just that. I have Deasanti Small. She's going to be talking about marketing and branding. And then, of course, you'll be there doing your thing. Coach Trish.
Okay.
We got you on board. And our keynote speaker, Dr. Nyambi Hall Campbell Dean. And she works with Afrocentric community psychology. And so she's going to be going a little deeper into the mental health of women and getting us to be in a place of reminding ourselves of certain things, because I think we get so focused on being strong and being resilient. Girl, I don't even want to be resilient no more. I just want to be soft, right?
I don't even want to be an adult no more. Talking about resilience,
like,
okay?
I stay looking for the adults in the room.
Okay.
But you know, we have to do these things, but we also have to remind ourselves to give ourselves a little bit of grace. And you know, and I tell other people all the time to give yourself grace. But do I give the grace to myself?
No.
Not necessarily.
You realize that most coaches, most therapists, most psychologists, most doctors, they don't necessarily 100% do the same things that they tell people to do.
Practice what you preach is hard.
You could walk past a particular hospital right now. I could see a doctor outside smoking a cigarette. All right. These things happen. Yeah. Okay. So it's like sometimes you just got to stop.
Yeah.
And just take care of yourself, which of course what I'll be discussing, you know, wellness and resting, which is important, because what sense does it make you curing somebody else or trying to help somebody else and you depleting yourself from whatever energy that you have, right?
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
so I when you approached me about this, the energy from you exuded, like the enthusiasm was there. You were pumped up. You said, I got this thing. I was like, okay. All right. So where did this passion come from? How did this whole thing start?
So this is my baby. Yeah. Honestly.
Clearly.
I started this. I told you I started this in my living room. Like I rented this apartment. I'm like, I ain't buying no furniture. I want to be able to host women, to host people here and have events in my apartment. I'm like, I can't afford to do this. Right. So I'm like, if I pay in this rent, we could do everything right here in this space. So, you know, I made my space available for things like that. And when I initially started, it was mostly me doing potluck and having people come over and do talks. And I would do a dream board party and I would do like different type of activities to help empower women. I started doing this gold diggers thing. And so I just wanted to be able to build community more than anything else, right? And I think that accountability is important because when we have someone to be accountable to, we're more inclined to do the things that we need to do. And so I have an accountability partner. She's wonderful. Like, I don't know if I'm an accountability partner, probably not, but she definitely like tracks me, like with my travel, with my everything that I do. She's like, oh, it's been a year since you've been in this country. What did you learn? She reminds me, if I say I want to save $5,000 by the end of this month, she will call me the next day. Miss, did you save the $5,000? And I think we need that. And a lot of people are suffering from not having a sisterhood per se, you know, and you'd be like, oh, I don't need any girlfriends. But I think we all need one or two, maybe. You don't have to have a bunch, you know.
I remember I used to be like that, you know. I used to be standoffish, and that was only because of past trauma and hurt from friends. All right. Can we talk about that for 2 seconds?
Girl,
we've been there, you know.
Yes.
But and I realized that don't make no sense. No, because the reason why I am what I am, other than God's grace, of course, it's because of my friends. It's because of the accountability that I have around me. And I can tell you that I am thriving. And I depend on them. And they depend on me.
Yes.
I love that.
And, you know, recently one of my girlfriends, she heard in my voice, I was really stressed with getting the event together along with, you know, regular life things going on. And she was like, I don't like how you sound. And like she would call and I wasn't answering the phone and she just kept calling and calling. And she was like, I'm making an appointment for you. And see, when you have people like that, that are going to do that for you, like it made me cry because I'm like, this is someone that can hear in your voice that something is wrong. Like she didn't see me. But she's like, yeah, I don't like how you sound.
We need that.
I'm making an appointment for you. So having that is an amazing gift.
I can tell you that is an amazing gift. What has this conference, how has this conference impacted women in previous years, and what makes this particular year so special?
Okay, so this is our 3rd year in this location. So since I moved out of doing this in my house and I realized that this was something that I needed to bring to the wider public, I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I don't want to charge people to do this, but you know, you got to pay the bills to be where you are. Right. So it's not for profit, but it still has to be a cost affiliated with it. But you know, at the end of every time that I've been hosting this, people are coming to me and they're like, this is amazing. You got to get more people to come out to this. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how. Which is why I invited Santi, because I'm like, I need the marketing thing,
advice.
Right?
Know what to do.
If I need it, I'm sure that somebody else needs it too. So, you know, and that's a lot. That's a big part of why I chose the people, because we think that we're living in a singular type thing, but other people. You talk to people and you realize, oh, this person needs this too. They want this too. And so you realize that you're aligned with a lot of the people that you come in contact with. And so I want to be able to, the takeaway from me is that these women are, or men, if they decide to come, that they're able to come and they're able to actually get something, a true experience from it, and not just hearing words or feeling like, oh, I just made this investment in my time and I got nothing. I really want people to feel as though they walk away and they have something at the end of the day. And that's why I gathered the group. And every time when I talk, when I get my speakers each year, I think that it comes together so perfectly that it just works. It all meshes together. And you know, when I heard you talking, I was like, I gotta get Trishana on the show. I don't care what she says. She better say yes.
She better say yes. But so for those who haven't registered yet, right? How can they sign up, and why should they make it a priority? I mean, you already said why they should make it a priority, but just in case someone little on the wall whether or not they should come.
Well,
where can they get their tickets from?
So you can get your tickets from Eventbrite, or you can, and the tickets are. The registration is $50 and $25 for students. And we're going to have vendors there. We're going to have entrepreneurs there selling their wares. We're going to have all of the wonderful speakers that you see on the flyer. And it's going to be a good experience. We're going to have a little brunchy brunch.
A little brunchy brunch.
Yeah. So like a mini brunch stuff.
Put a flyer back on there for me, please, so we can know. So once again, Eventbrite, what are they looking up?
So you look up Check Your Pulse. So once you look up Check Your Pulse, you'll be able to find the ticket. And then, of course, I'll give you the link as well. So you could probably add it.
Let's give somebody a ticket today, right?
Yeah.
So simply, well, first of all, have you ever met Patrice Lockhart?
I have not.
No, what? Listen, next year, God's willing, make sure she's on your list, eh?
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure she's on your list. Post haste.
Yes.
All right. So
this is why we're here right now.
This is how we do it. And so we have to definitely, what we do is, because this show was so powerful and impactful, I want the first lady, the first one, to text me 3 points that Patrice, I call her Dr. Patrice, she's doctor in the spirit, Dr. Patrice Lockhart had stated in today's show, and you win yourself a ticket to attend Check Your Pulse 2025 Women's Conference. All right. So you're going to call the number. I can't say 242 because we're ready here. 376-8689. 376-8689. You win yourself a free ticket to attend this event. You want to be in this particular environment where you have like-minded women, or women who can actually pull you up, especially for those who may feel as if they're despondent. You have women who could help you with marketing, help you with fitness, help you with knowing how to deal with your time and time management, how to rest. You want to be able to be around other entrepreneurs if you are one, or aspiring entrepreneur. You want to be in the building, okay? Because this is how we, listen here, how you think we get to these points? It ain't by us just doing things on our own, you know. It's networking, because that's what pays the bills, you know, at the end of the day. Look at your favor from someone can take you further than your money can possibly take you. I can tell you that. All right. Ask me how. I know. All right. So listen, networking is important. For those who had placed on their 2025 New Year's resolution, how you want to just evolve and you want to network more and get out of your shell and all these other things. These are things that people like Desh have actually produced for you to come out of that and pursue the goal that you wanted to achieve. All right. So we're wrapping up. Desh, thank you so much for being a part of today's show as well. Just telling us about what it is that you're doing. I know this is going to be very impactful.
Yes, I'm very excited. And thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being a part of this event.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait.
I can't wait to go, because I done ready. Girl. Fired up and ready to go. All right. So next week's show, we're going to talk about Nature's Medicine Cabinet, looking into Nature's Medicine Cabinet, where we're going to have a natural health specialist on board to talk to us about using products that you may not find in the pharmacy. Okay, so natural medicines for our bodies, of course, and any other questions. In fact, I'm going to do a little post on Your Lane Life Coaching to find out if you have questions prior to the show, so that we can actually read it during our time and sessions. But what are some things that we could use if we have arthritis? Anything we could use if our belly always breaking down? What we could do if we want our belly to break down, so we could shed some some fat. All right, we're gonna have, and I'm not gonna say who the person is right now, but we're gonna have that individual on board because he's quite knowledgeable all right, about the type of natural products. Now, we ain't going to the pharmacy for these things, all right? What we can do with our health, and that's everything from the hair to oral to the skin, etc., internal, all of that. Next week, Sunday, God's willing. All right. So my live reads from Your Lane Life Coaching. If you're ready to transform your life and relationship, at Your Lane Life Coaching, we help women build strong relationships, purposeful relationships as well, and a God-centered life. From premarital coaching to marriage restoration, we guide you every step of the way. You can book your session today. You can visit www.yourlanelifecoaching.com or give us a call at 1-242-376-8689. Your lane is waiting. Are you ready to walk in it? And just guess what? Patrice said something today that I thought was so profound. She says, they're not even discussing menopause and perimenopause in the premarital coaching or premarital sessions. Well, I tell you what, because I've been informed today, that will be a part of the package as well. So for those, that'll be, we do discuss sex and issues and hormones and stuff like that. All right. So that's definitely something that we will incorporate into our sessions for premarital coaching. All right. So thank you to our Your Lane talk show sponsors. We have John Shoe Store and Accessories, Emmanuel Medical Center, Lysol Disinfectant, Airwick, Del Monte, Fabulous Ronnie Hair Restoration Clinic, and Your Lane Life Coaching. To the businesses out there, if you wish to sponsor Your Lane Talk Show, please give us a call at 376-8689. We have awesome packages to suit your budget. So once again, thank you, Patrice Lockhart. Thank you to Deschanel Swan. Your name ain't changed yet, right?
You keep calling this name that nobody know me by, but go right ahead. My name is
Day
Swan. Thank you very much.
All right. For those, the Giants, we know why we say Deschanel, all right? And you got to know her from way back.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So Day Swan. All right. Thank you, Beats, as always. And Your Lane's continued listening audience, thank you for continuing to listen and support. And for those who are new, welcome. Now that you're here, please like and subscribe to our Your Lane Life Coaching's Facebook account. And you can also like and subscribe on YouTube, Coach Trish Hannah, okay? So that you can get an update and be updated for everything that we do on the show, whether it's giveaways, whether it's new shows that are coming up, etc. So we're going to make sure get you in on the goodies with Your Lane Talk Show, all right? So I pray that you were all empowered, educated, and encouraged today. And until next time, have a blessed Sunday, everyone.